Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to all of you. My name is Aurora Bocci, and I'm part of the team at Destination Makers, the Italian partner involved in this Rural project. Specifically, our role focuses on managing communication activities and the dissemination of good practices aimed at the digitalization of tourism with a particular focus on rural areas. As we know, rural destinations face unique challenges right now at this time, but they also hold incredible potential. Digitalization is the key to unlock that potential, and that's why we're here today. The topic of today's webinar is data-driven approaches for tourist strategies in rural areas. In an era where information is kind of everywhere, understanding how to transform raw data into actionable strategy is a game changer for any destination. And to help us navigate this topic, I am delighted to introduce our guest speaker, Giancarlo De Luca, Partnership and Business Development Specialist at the Data Appeal Company. Giancarlo has extensive experience in helping destinations to use data to improve their competitiveness and appeal. Short note, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to write them in the chat, and we will have a dedicated Q&A question session at the end. Giancarlo, thank you very much for joining us today. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Aurora. Thank you for your warm introduction. Let me share the screen and then we can start. Okay, so good morning, everyone, again, and welcome to this webinar where we learn how data can support tourism strategies, especially for rural destinations. I work at Data Appeal, as Aurora said, in the partnership team where we actually collaborate with many organizations and partners to improve the way tourism data can be used. I'm very happy today to share with you some insights about how destinations, especially the rural ones, can use data to better understand visitors and improve their tourism strategy. So let's start with the agenda for today. First, I will briefly introduce Data Appeal, as I said, and explain what we do. Then we will look at how the tourism world is changing, especially because of the huge amount of digital information and transformation that the travelers are coming through. And finally, we will see how rural destinations can use this information to make better decisions, attract the right visitors, and develop a more sustainable tourism strategy. Now, as I said, I work for Data Appeal. For those who are not familiar with us, we were founded in 2014 as a startup focused on tourism data analysis. Over the years, the company has grown a lot, and today we are one of the main providers of tourism intelligence and data platforms, not only for tourism, actually, but also for the retail sector. A few years ago, we were acquired by Almaviva, that is a huge IT and Italian company with almost 40,000 employees worldwide. And thanks also to this opportunity, we had the chance to grow even more and expand our international presence and ecosystem. More recently, we also acquired Mabrian, which was one of our main competitors in the tourism intelligence industry. And today, together with Mabrian, we work with more than 500 destinations worldwide. That includes large institutions such as the Ministry of Tourism in Italy, in South Africa, but also many regional and local destinations across Europe, North America, Australia, and other parts of the world. But what we actually do, in simple words, we analyze digital traces left by travelers. So every time people travel, they leave a huge amount of information online. Reviews, ratings, comments, pictures, or social media interactions. And all this information tells a story about their experience, our experience, and your experience when traveling. We collect and analyze these signals for millions of points of interest all over the world. A point of interest is basically what we call that can be a business or also a retail shop, but also any physical element on a map. So we also analyze parks, museum, hiking trails, or also EV charging station, for example. All these elements create the visitor experience of a destination. And once we have all the information, we use advanced technologies and large language models to analyze the meaning behind reviews and feedbacks online. So basically, this allows us to transform millions of comments into structured insights that can be used inside our platform or delivered through API or many other models. So we are able to understand not only how many people visit a destination, but also much more. So for example, what they like the most, what they complain about, or where they prefer to stay, what kind of experiences they look for, and in many cases also how much do they spend into the destination. All this information helps us and destinations to understand the visitor in a much deeper way. Here you have a small example of our platform. Let me just pause the video for a second just to give you a quick overview. This is like our homepage. On the left, we have many modules, such as the destination one, that is where we analyze the performance and the perception of a place. In the OTA section, we analyze online travel agencies, so also to understand prices, booking trends, and saturation. In the flights module, the flights modules allows the destinations to understand flight capacity, connections, and airline dynamics. We also have an events module that helps to identify the most relevant events and estimate the impact on the tourism demand. And also in the spending, the destination can understand how much visitors spend, and where this spending happens in some industries or in others. So going on with the video, this is our homepage, as I said, where all the data are collected, and clicking on the executive summary here, in the Smart Insights sections, that is an integration of OpenAI in our platform. The user is able to generate an overview of the destination performance, in this case, Milano. And one interesting feature of the platform is also that user, as you're seeing here, can directly ask and interact with the platform. Here we ask to the platform to give some insights about sustainability, and the answer is generated based on visitor feedback and reviews in the platform. So we are not only showing the data, but we are also explaining the main trends and providing recommendations to the user. Why we do that? Because, let me change. Today, tourism has changed, in our opinion, and a lot, and every destination, large or small, rural or urban, is now part of what we call the visitor experience 2.0. What does this mean? Well, when we plan a trip, today we generate a huge number of digital traces. We search for flights, we compare hotels, we read reviews about restaurants, we check photos on social media, we watch videos about destinations, and during the trip, we also share our own experience online. So all these actions together generate data, and if a destination is able to analyze this data, it can better understand how visitors behave. Artificial intelligence is also changing the way we search for information. More and more travelers rely on AI tools to plan their trips. They ask questions, we ask questions. We compare destinations and receive recommendations directly from the AI tools. This means that the digital information about destinations is becoming even more important. And just to give you an example, between March 22 and March 25, Wikipedia lost around 23% of daily visits, and I suppose the number is increasing. And one of the main reasons is for sure the growth of AI tools and Google AI Overview, for example. People today often read the answer directly from from the AI overview instead of clicking on traditional websites. So this shows, for example, how quickly the digital ecosystem is changing nowadays. And in this scenario, it becomes very important, and we are coming to the core of our webinar. It becomes very important that rural destinations also develop stronger data capabilities. So rural areas often receive fewer visitors and have less visibility compared to large cities. For this reason, having access to clear and updated information becomes extremely important. Data allows these destinations to understand their strengths, identify opportunities, and take decision earlier. That's why we are currently involved in a national project in Italy that will run until next year, until 2027, focused on rural and inner areas of the country, developed together with the Italian Ministry of Tourism and supported by the European Commission. And the goal of this project is quite ambitious. It involves more than 1900 municipalities across the country. That represents around 4.5 millions of people. That's around 8 or 10% of the Italian population. And many of these places are beautiful because rural areas with strong cultural identity but limited tourism visibility. And the objective is to give them tools to better understand tourism dynamics and improve their tourism strategies. So what we are doing, for example, as Data Peel is activating our dashboard for all these territories and helping them monitor tourism performance. On this slide here, you can see an example of the sentiment of Italian rural areas. Sentiment is a proxy for the quality perceived by a visitor in a given area. And the blue wave here, for example, represents the number of digital traces. So as we said before, reviews, pictures, social posts, and so on. And as you can see, the highest the concentration of the review happening during the summer season, which is quite normal. At the same time, we can observe a small decrease in the sentiment during that period, is this blue line. That is normal again. I mean, when destinations become more crowded, service pressure increases and prices may go up and waiting times, for example, can be longer. In large tourist destinations, this drop here is usually much stronger, much higher because of over tourism, while in this case, as a rural area, the effect is usually more limited with respect to the, let's say, over tourist destination. One of the most interesting insights we discovered is what visitors appreciate the most in rural destinations. And these are three main aspects. The first is food. I mean, it's not a surprise, but it's not only about restaurants. Visitors appreciate the authenticity of the experience. So cooking classes, local products, wineries, or traditional recipes. The second one is hospitality. So in rural areas, visitors often feel a more personal and welcoming atmosphere, and they feel closer to the local community. And the third point that people appreciate the most in rural areas is location. So landscapes, nature, or mountains and small villages are the key drivers of appreciation here. Another interesting insight comes from the analysis of the visitor origin markets for the rural destination, again in Italy. Here you can see the top 5 countries based on number of reviews and digital traces. Italy is the first one because of course, of the domestic market, followed by Germany. But we also discovered something interesting in this case. The United States, which is usually one of the top international markets for Italy, at the first or second place in the last years, is only in the 8th position in rural areas. So this suggests that American travelers still tend to concentrate more on famous cities or iconic destinations. And for our rural areas, this represents an opportunity to develop more targeted communication strategies. Here you can see the most relevant points of interest within these areas. This type of visualization helps destinations to understand where visitors concentrate and which attractions generate the most attention inside the destination. For example, here you see the first position is the Cathedral of Orvieto, and from the platform we can access deeper analysis on about visitor volumes, origins, and trends. So the question now could be, once we have access to this information, what can destinations actually do? Well, they can improve marketing campaigns, they can identify growing markets, promote the experiences visitors that visitors appreciate most. They can also communicate better with local stakeholders, such as hotels, restaurants, or local associations and administrations. They can monitor performance over time and understand if their strategy is working or not. We saw also before that inside our platform, this can be done through smart insights that summarize the main trends automatically, or by interacting directly with the AI assistant that we saw before, asking about sustainability. We are also actually developing a new AI agent that will automatically generate reports, emails, presentation, and charts directly from the data available in the platform. For example, here you see I asked the system to generate an email summarizing the main tourism insights to be shared with stakeholder, and here you have the first part of the mail. So what we have learned over the years, the main lesson is simple. Destinations that are able to use real-time data and share insight with their stakeholders are also the ones that are better prepared to shape the future of their tourism economy, because data helps to transform intuition into informed decisions. And this is particularly important for rural destinations that want to grow in a sustainable way. Okay, so thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat and we can easily answer live, or also we can connect and chat after the call. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Giancarlo. Very interesting presentation about how data can be used in tourism, especially in rural areas. If you have some question, please feel free to comment in the chat. Maybe to start, I would have one question from my side, if you are okay with it. And I would like to ask you, what is the difference between the data that you maybe reach it from the government, for example, and your data from your platform? Like, what are the benefits for the destinations to get more this data from your platform?
Okay, you mean by with respect to traditional data sources? I think you
Exactly.
are asking. Well, I believe there are two main differences. The first one is data availability. So our data is almost real time. We only have a 7-day delay, So, for example, today is March 10th. You can already analyze your performance for February or also the first days of March. So, since you get data quickly, you can adjust your strategy for the coming months and give advice to your stakeholders or authors in real time. And another important difference is to have everything in one place. So our platform doesn't just show how many people are talking about a destination, but it also gives a wider view, like spending, flights, detailed insights for each business or points of interest. So especially for rural areas, this could be very useful where information may be more harder to collect. Thank you. I'm
Great.
seeing
Thank you
a
very
couple of
much. Ah,
questions in
yes,
the
we
chat.
can see. Yes. So they are asking how reliable is the data, how much does it cost, and why is it better than free Google Analytics?
Okay, so as I briefly introduced, we both collect data from more than 100 sources. So the reliability is basically reflect the visitors' presence online. So we are reliable still if the visitor are traveling, are posting, commenting, and nowadays 100% this way. So we both collect on different sources, and we both have commercial agreements with company that provide us data, for example, on the spending, on the flights. So it's a mix of sources. How much does it cost? I think it really depends on the destination. So if for a small destination, the price is lower. Of course, if you need a platform for an entire country, the price is higher. I mean, we can keep in touch and schedule a call if you're interested in a specific destination to understand the price. Why is better than Google Free Analytics? Well, they're completely different. I mean, we do offer hundreds of capacity in different modules in different ways, so you can really do deeper analysis on many other topics. And as I said before, we have implemented in our dashboard different datas from different providers, so they are two really different things.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there any other questions for Giancarlo? We have a new question. How it can help a farmer who knows nothing about any modern technology and could be even without the internet coverage?
Well, let's say it's a quiz question. The idea is to help destinations in a total holistic way. So, and then destinations with our product or with our report, and in general, but not with ours, in general with data information, destination should be able to help everyone in their territory. So our goal is to give destinations or businesses or ministries or whatever the tools to manage the destination.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, for being here at this webinar in the lunch break. Thank you very much.